right.
Florenzo,
Phil Florenzo, long snapper. I've never done an interview here, so it's my first one. Probably gonna be my last one. So if I mess up, I'll have another interview on for sure. But all right.
Let's not commit ourselves to that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all fire away.
All right.
You want to take the lead?
Journey of a walk-on, just go through that. Like, what was that like? Just joining the team.
Oh yeah. I was a tryout kid for the team. My freshman year, I wanted to come out for this team. That was kind of my goal. And because of COVID, I wasn't able to try out at all. I kept emailing this place like I think 100, 200 times, just saying like, give me a chance. I went up to the band field every day and snapped footballs. Just stuck with it. And finally, like over going to my sophomore year, I just finally got the final email saying like come out to tryouts, and it was about a 15-minute tryout. Snapped about 5 balls, and Coach Srini was like, "Hey, you make this snap right here, make you a Tiger," and it all worked out for the best. But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and so glad I stuck with it. And being a part of this team is just the best thing in my life right now, and I love every second of it. So
I guess did you come to Clemson without a guarantee?
Yeah, I wanted to play football. I didn't start snapping until about my senior year of high school, and someone was like, "Hey, you want to be a long snapper?" And I was like, "In college? Who does that? What are you talking about?" And I guess because of COVID, I just had nothing to do, so I just kept working at it, and I really wanted to, I wanted to play in college. And I had an opportunity to maybe play at Miami of Ohio as a preferred walk-on, but, I just visited schools and applied for schools, and I came visit here as a normal student, and I fell in love with Clemson. And my dad always told me, he's like, I'm not paying for you to go to play sports, I'm paying for you to get an education. And I fell in love with Clemson, and it was a really hard decision. I just decided, bet on myself, take a chance, and I wanted to play football here, and it all worked out. And thank God every day it did, because it wasn't easy for sure. But yeah, I didn't have nobody knew who I was. I think I came up to the door and knocked a few times, got sent away, emailed a bazillion times to try to get someone a response. Asked Mike Dooley about it, if you know him. He knew my name before I got here. But yeah, it was so it just took a chance, and it all worked out, so I'm very thankful. So
you remember the last email you sent? Why do you think you got a response there, and kind of what was your reaction?
So it was in the summer going into it, and I was slowly getting responses from Dooley, and I was like, hey, still here, still would love a chance. And you don't get much back because they just think you're another kid that just says you could do it. And I actually was working that summer at a restaurant, and I met I think he was an alumni, and he said, oh, I know the president of the school. He's like, want me to email him? I was like, oh, let's see how that goes, right? I can't get him on my own. Maybe if the president of the school emails him, something good will happen. And I think it was like he sent the email, and within 5 minutes, and I sent a follow-up email right after saying like, hey, did you get the letter from the president saying I'm a good kid? And he responded to me within I think an hour of that going out, saying like, all right, kid, tryouts are August 23rd, be there, okay? And here's the mountain of paperwork you got to fill out and you got to go to get all these tests done before you can come out here. Make sure you're vaccinated. I don't want you giving COVID to this team. And I was just like, all right, deal. I was already set up because they don't make it easy. They want to see if you really want it. And I got really lucky because of COVID. COVID was a blessing and a curse for me because I wasn't able to try out my freshman year, but because of COVID, they extended the roster by 10 spots. So a roster spot opened up. And I mean, in the spring of my fall, they even sent an email to me saying that, hey, appreciate your interest. It's a personal email from Mike Dooley saying, appreciate your interest, but due to COVID, everybody's coming back. We're not going to have a spot for you. Hope you enjoy Clemson, but it's just not going to work out. And that was a rough day for sure, but I just stuck with it. I mean, that's it. You have a dream, you just chase it, and that was the goal. And now I got to play in Death Valley. Got to start 14 games playing the Orange Bowl. I mean, life's just, it's crazy. So, I mean, it's a blessing for sure.
What restaurant was it?
It was Rope Walk in Ocean City. It was my high school alumni were there, and I just started talking to a guy. He's like, "Oh, you go to Clemson?" I was like, "Yeah, go to Clemson." You don't tell people you're going to walk on at Clemson football because you just sound like an idiot, to be honest with you. Like, you don't tell people. You just kind of keep it inside. You're just like, okay. And he's like, "Oh, you used to play football in high school?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was a long snap for a little bit, dabbled in it." Meanwhile, I didn't know I was training for 2 years. But he said, "Why don't you walk onto the team?" I was like, "Oh, to be honest with you, that's what I'm trying to do." And he got in contact with the right people, President Clemens, and President Clemens just forwarded that email over to the athletic department. I don't know who he forwarded it to, but I got the email, which is all I wanted. So, I mean, I got to be happy with it. But yeah, it was a crazy. I mean, I still remember every second of that day, of that tryout, every second of me emailing anybody that would respond to me. But it's crazy.
So you said, Coach Sweeney said, make the snap, you're on the team. Do you remember what the situation was?
Yeah. So I remember we went out there, and they sent an email the day before saying that we're looking for a long snapper. So in my head, I'm like, all right, it's going to happen. Everything's kind of lining up. God's helping me out here. And we go out there, and there's like, I want to say like 20 long snappers. So I was like, oh, gosh, I guess everybody's a long snapper now. Nobody knew that. Nobody knows what a long snapper is until they ask for one. Then we go out there, and I just thought, I was like, they're probably going to put the long snappers and the kickers probably on the side. The quarterbacks have been in the middle that are trying out. But nope, front and center, right in the middle of the 50-yard line with everybody watching. And I was snapped, I think 5 balls, good balls. Snapped 5 good punt snaps, and I was like, all right, good. And then looking right in my eye, and I've never seen Coach Sweeney before this, never. And he said, turns around and he goes, he's wearing 25 jersey. Hey, 25? I was like, oh, there he is, And he was like, hey, 25, what's your name? And I was like, oh, Florenzo. All right, Florenzo, my snappers, they're really good. They make the snap when they need to make the snap. Can you do that? I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, why don't you make this snap right here and we'll see what happens. And I had some guts that day, and I was like, all right, okay, watch this. And I threw it. One of the best punt snaps I think I've ever thrown. And he said, okay, and he walked away from me for a little bit. And I felt good about it, but they said they're going to send an email 3 days later, and that's probably going to be the most nerve-wracking 3 days of my life, if that was true. And at the end of the tryout, Coach Spires said, hey, why don't you just hang around, say goodbye to Coach Sweeney, as like 100 guys are shaking his hand. And, I'm nervous. I felt good, but you never really know. And he walked up and he goes, hey, Lorenzo? I was like, Florenzo, okay, hey, man. It's a good try you had there. And I'm just going to be straight up with you. You made the team. And I said, are you serious? Are you serious? This is happening? He's like, yeah. He goes, he said, when I met my wife, I knew I was going to marry her. When I met you, I knew you were going to be a Tiger. And a couple tears were shed. It's like you worked 2 years for a 15-minute tryout, and all of a sudden your life's like so different. And Mike Dooley was there, the guy I was emailing 24/7. He was like, I want to tell him. You didn't have to deal with him the whole time. And it was just amazing. And I was leaving. The funny part of the story is I shook all their hands, say thank you. He's like, I'm going to do a background check on it, make sure you're all good. And I was like, all right, I think I'm good. I should be clear. And as I'm walking away, he goes, hey, Florenzo. And I turn around, yeah, Coach. He goes, you got a girlfriend? I was like, no, I've been too busy doing this. He's like, well, you'll have one soon now. And that's I remember it. I remember it clear as yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Like it was that big moment in my life, and I mean it was amazing. It was just everything I dreamt of, and it was just the beginning of the journey for me. And to come out and compete when the starting spot and field goals was just was just amazing. Work with BT Potter and Drew Sweeney last year. It's awesome. It's a cool story to tell sometimes. They make fun of me because BT does. Because I call myself a crawl-on because there's walk-ons that are preferred that get asked to come here. I'm a crawl-on because I had to ask them to let me be on the team and then try out. So that's kind of my little chip, is to be a crawl-on. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot made fun of by BT and John White's about that for sure. But I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. So, yeah.
So you talk about the moment where you got on the team. Do you remember like a specific moment when you actually get on the field for the first time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was UConn my first year. Jack Matz was starting snapper. We're playing UConn. We're beating them really well. And I remember Coach Sweeney makes all the decisions. And he's like, all right, you're no field goals. I was like, okay, all right. And Jake Briningstool caught the touchdown. And I didn't expect them to score because it was a long pass. And I'm kind of warming up. And I'm like, you're in. And the best way I can describe it, it was like a movie the first time you go out there. It's like a POV. You're running around. I remember running out there, lining up, and kind of looking to my left and right, and like seeing the giant O linemen that are next to me. Oh, okay. I was like, what are we waiting on? And I was like, oh, we're waiting on me. And then I get down to my stance, and that's about all I remember, to be honest with you. I blacked out from that point on, and then I remember running off the field. And I mean, it was the happiest, one of the coolest moments, just that first time to go out there and do it, and snap a good ball. So John